VCAL PD presents Movie Talk Podcast.
Hello, welcome to the 2Sweet movie show. It's Thursday, the 24th of May. We have the new movies releasing today. Solo, a Star Wars story. Now, this is a bit of a reboot to the Star Wars films. It's basically an action-adventure fantasy, and it's basically about board the Millennium Falcon and journey to a galaxy far, far away in Solo. And it's an adventure with the most beloved scoundrel in the galaxy. Through a series of daring escapades, deep within a dark and dangerous criminal underworld, Han Solo meets his mighty future co-pilot Chewbacca and encounters the notorious gambler Lando Calrissian in a journey that will set the course of one of the Star Wars saga's most likely heroes. Now, this one's directed by Ron Howard. He's a very popular director at the moment. If you don't know much about his directing, he's actually directed a fair bunch of films in the past, and he's most known for Happy Days, where he starred as the Fonz, I think, if I'm not wrong. So yeah, he's a big director, right? He's been directing so many things. And his most recent film he would have directed to date would probably be, there's In the Heart of the Sea. That was the one with Chris Hemsworth. And there's also another one. He directed Inferno with Tom Hanks and Felicity Jones and Irfan Khan. And that was actually a very popular movie, if you didn't know about it. It's about Robert Langdon, and he wakes up in an Italian hospital with amnesia, and then he teams up with Dr. Sienna Brooks, and together they must race across Europe against the clock to foil a deadly global plot. And he also directed Rush, The Dilemma, Angels and Demons. He's been very busy on directing recently. So, which writer's on board for Star Wars, a Solo story? You got Jonathan Kasdan, Lawrence Kasdan. Now, Lawrence Kasdan, he's actually written a number of films. He wrote Star Wars The Force Awakens. He also wrote Dreamcatcher, and he wrote The Bodyguard and Indiana Jones. Now, basically, the movie's based on the characters created by George Lucas, as you know. And the cast is pretty strong here as well in this movie. You've got Donald Glover. Now, he's most known for some comedy shows like Atlanta, and he was also in Spider-Man Homecoming. And then you've also got Emilia Clarke here, who you know from Game of Thrones, Terminator, and Me Before You. And then you've also got Aiden Enrich, who plays the role of Han Solo. Now, he's the main actor, and I don't think he's known for much, so it was a bit of a gamble to cast him. He's known for Hail Caesar and Blue Jasmine. And you've also got Paul Bettany on board for this film. Paul Bettany's been very busy. He's in Avengers, and he's also in Star Wars type of films. You also got Thandie Newton here, and you'll be seeing her as well very soon in Gringo, which releases next week. Yep, that's right. And you've also got Woody Harrelson on this film. Now, Woody Harrelson, best known for War of the Planet of the Apes, Zombieland, and Natural Born Killers. You've also got Jon Favreau, who's a voice. He plays the voice of Rio Durant. And it's going to be, I think, a big type of film. Probably lots of people will go and see it. I don't know if it's going to be as big as Star Wars The Last Jedi. We'll have to see to find out. But I think most people are like, man, it's another Star Wars film. It's not something like a breakthrough, even though lots of people really like Star Wars The Last Jedi, and lots of people hated Star Wars The Last Jedi. So it was basically different reception between both people. Now I'm going to review Deadpool 2. Now, I really loved it. I saw it couple of days ago actually, and I thought it was very hilarious. I mean, you got Wade Wilson who's played by Ryan Reynolds, and he's basically he's a typical guy. I mean, he's a typical guy, right? And it's very nice. Very nice type of film, and I was surprised at how much I really liked it because he's a very funny guy, and he had a relationship with Vanessa, played by Miranda Baccarin, and you've also got a couple of X-Men members who turn up, and you get back to see Dipinda from who's actually back in it, and you've got Weasel, you've got a much number of people. Now, basically, it's just this really, really, really funny action movie, and I thought it was really done well. It's got lots of good pop culture gags, and I thought the story was very good. It was very funny. I mean, you can call it a humorous drama, and it just makes you laugh, right? It's a very funny type of film. You know, like if you don't know the story, well, basically, Deadpool's a foul mouth. He non-stop uses the word F, and he's a mutant mercenary, and his name's Deadpool. Real name Wade Wilson, and then he brings together a team of fellow mutant rogues, the X-Force, to protect a young boy with supernatural abilities, and they also have to stop Cable. He's a brutal time-traveling cyborg, and his name's Cable, and he's played by Josh Brolin. Yeah, it's a pretty big type of story. I mean, it's just a pretty story. It's just like, it's just a very funny, like, dark type of comedy, I guess you could say. It's action-packed. It's got an adventure. It's got lots of comedy, and I thought Ryan Reynolds nailed almost every performance. And Josh Brolin as the villain did also a great job. And then you got Julian Dennison. I mean, he did okay. You known him from Paper Planes, and you've also known him from Hunt for the Wilder People. Now, he's a really funny guy. I mean, he's not really that familiar with his acting or that great in his acting, but he can redeem himself soon, I guess you could say. Now, I thought TJ Miller, he's a very funny guy always. You got Karen Sony, who played the taxi driver, which was a very funny performance, actually. You got Terry Crews, who plays Bedlam. Brad Pitt, who plays the Vanisher. And you got Matt Damon, who plays a redneck number one. Lots of big celebrity cameos in this film. Quite a number, actually. And it's quite a big film. It's a solid 2 hours, and it's just a solid 2 hours of action and lots of funny laughs. I mean, you'll never not be happy when you're watching this film. You just love it, because what I mean, it's very original. Like, the idea's original, and I haven't really seen stuff about it. And at times it does get tragic, but it's darkly humorous. It's very funny at times. I mean, it's great, and it's also really violent. I mean, at times it can be very violent. And it's at its core is a tale of loss and a tale of wanting to belong, of failed father figures, and the cycle of vengeance, all wrapped in a message of overcoming personal tragedy to be better individuals. It basically mixes funny comedy, pop culture references, which are very hilarious, and lovable characters. It's just great. I think it defies the genre of action, superheroes, and everything. It's just amazing. It's pretty out of the ordinary. I mean, it's very different. It's not what you think it is normally. Well, I mean, it's a very different type of film. And it's just imagination. I mean, it's just like a fantasy thing, It will never happen in real life, this Deadpool stuff. But what you do, you go to the movies to have a laugh. You go to the movies to enjoy yourself, and this is what it does. I mean, it's the sequel to the 2016 superhero flick Deadpool, and it's based on the Marvel Comics character. And it's also the 11th entry into the X-Men film franchise. And basically what he has to do is Wade Wilson, Deadpool, he has to fight to defend a young gifted mutant named Russell, and he's played by Julian Dennison, from a time-travelling mutant called Cable, who is played by Josh Brolin. Not to be confused with Thanos, he plays two villains in two Marvel films. Pretty crazy, right? And basically, he has to form a new superhero mutant team called the X-Force to help him. And the movie stars Ryan Reynolds, Josh Brolin, Julian Dennison, Zazie Beetz, TJ Miller, Brianna Hilbert, Stephen Kapik, Leslie Uggams, Karam Soni, Morena Beckram, and Eddie Marsden. And it's actually directed by David Leitch. And I think Tim Miller directed the first one. And what he did was, he's the one who made Atomic Blonde, and he co-directed John Wick. And it's written by Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick. And those are the duo who actually co-wrote the original film and Zombieland. And also Ryan Reynolds in his screenwriting debut. Now, really, it's just crazy, right? He basically is planning to have a child with his girlfriend, and then a tragedy happens. But then Wade befriends a young troubled mutant named Russell. And then he later learns that he's been targeted for execution by a powerful time-traveling mutant from the future who's Cable. Now, it's just funny as they've got to help him protect the kid, played by Julian Dennison, and basically stop Cable, played by Josh Brolin. And now the movie's just bloody hilarious. It's got non-stop gags, slapstick humor, just like the original if you knew, as well as really graphically violent action scenes, which I also like in the original. So this film, it went too far in the slapstick humor, which is a good thing because you just sit there laughing. And what it is it's a perfect balance of action and comedy. And this one goes into sci-fi craziness as well, what you want to do. This is the ultimate action-packed blockbuster. It is crazy. And don't leave before the credits end, because post-credits scene, they play this comedy gag, which is very, very funny, and it's worth it. Do not leave the cinema, people. Do not leave when the movie finishes. I mean, this is just hilarious. I thought it's the coolest movie released this year. One of the coolest movies. And it's also very clever. It's crass. And it's also emotional. This movie has everything. It's a perfect masala of everything, really. I mean, the humor is crazy. All of it is just so crazy. And the movie's special in the way because the character's written. And every character's so unique. I mean, you think about it, yeah? It's really, really unique. And basically, the fights are crazy, right? The action is brutal at times. And it's also fun to watch. And those hip-hop jams which play, they are excellent, people. Those are crazy. They play dubstep. And they play old school rock. It puts a flavor to the film. So it's a masala, basically. Puts the flavor to a film. And the movie's very special. It is very, very funny. I tell you, it's funny. Even there was a reference in a pop culture gag, which they mentioned. And they mentioned Human Centipede. One of the worst bloody movies. I actually haven't seen it, but I've heard it's really, really bad. Now, I mean, isn't that just great that they've mentioned something like that? That just makes the movie, people. I'd say probably the best superhero movie. Not quite, because Avengers Infinity War as well. But those are the two best superhero movies of the year. Now, I think I'm going to end Deadpool 2, not spoiling anything, right? It's a non-spoiler review. I'm only saying some things which are in the trailer, which is fine. I'd probably give it a 9 out of 10. I thought it was bloody excellent. And according to IMDb, they've gave the first one 8.0. The second one is 8.2 out of 10. So I guess people do think that there is a difference. I mean, people do think that it could be better. Deadpool 2 being better. And I could probably agree. Maybe not quite. But they're both done well. They're both excellent, in my opinion. Now I wanted to review I Feel Pretty. Now I actually did see it last night, and it's basically a movie about a woman. She struggles with insecurity, and then basically she wakes from a fall, and then she suddenly believes that she's the most beautiful and capable woman on the planet. And then basically her new confidence empowers her to live fearlessly. But what happens when she realizes her appearance has never changed? Yeah, this is actually, I thought it'd be very bad, but I was pleasantly surprised that it was actually okay. I wouldn't say rush out to the theaters, but if you're a fan of these type of films and you just want a good laugh, this is a film for you. I mean, it's from the writers, it's from the team who gave you How to Be Single, starring Dakota Johnson and Rebel Wilson and Leslie Mann. And then they also wrote The Vow. So basically, How to Be Single was just a very, very funny type of comedy for that type of audience. And The Vow was more like a drama. And He's Just Not That Into You was another comedy drama type of thing, which had a number of stars. Jennifer Goodwin, Jennifer Aniston, Jennifer Connelly, Bradley Cooper, Ben Affleck, Scarlett Johansson, Justin Long, Natasha Leggero, and Drew Barrymore. That was a crazy type of film. Also from the writers of Never Been Kissed, Valentine's Day. You get it. Now, it's one of their first feature film directions, but they have wrote a number of things, as I just said. Now, their casting's pretty good. I thought that Michelle Williams does a type of funny role. She plays the role of Avery Leclerc, and she's basically the owner of a beauty type of industry thing. And basically, it's also got Emily Ratajkowski. She is a type of friend of Amy, sort of. Friend of Amy Schumer's character, and she doesn't do a bad role. I thought she was actually quite nice in it. Now, Amy Schumer, she plays her same role she does. She doesn't have a different role. You know her in Saturday Night Live, Snatched, which was a massive flop for her career. And actually, she made a pretty good movie, Trainwreck, back then. Now, this is in the middle between Trainwreck and Snatched. It is better than Snatched, but not better than Trainwreck, in my opinion. I think that Trainwreck was actually quite funny at times. This one also does have its moments, but it's a solid 1 hour, 50 minutes. It nearly goes up to 2 hours. I thought that the start was not necessary. The start was very, slow and boring, but then after that, it actually gets better. It gets much better 20 minutes in. I'd say, cut the first 15, 20 minutes because they are stupid. But after that, you actually get a nice type of story, which I was pleasantly surprised because I didn't think that it'd be actually as good as I actually saw it. Now, I thought, she's a she's a heartwarming type of person. She's real. She's not like one of those fake people. Like, she's just one of those regular women. And she's not really attractive, but in some scenes she actually, yeah, what I mean, she's not attractive like a supermodel or anything, but she's also very funny at times. I mean, her humor's quite good. She's in Inside Amy Schumer. She has her own TV show which is on ABC, and that's okay, but I think movies is where she should be. I mean, it's a type of comedy movie type thing. And it's actually surprisingly good. I mean, I was very surprised and certainly confused after seeing it. And I think it's got a 4 out of 10 on IMDb. That certainly shouldn't be where it is. It shouldn't be there. And so basically the story goes, I mean, she's an insecure woman. And then she wants to be pretty. She goes to the wishing well, puts a coin in. And then the next day she goes to Soul Cycle, which is a bike place, and she suffers a head injury while she's working out. And then she just thinks she's the most beautiful woman ever. And it also stars Naomi Campbell, who is actually a model, I think. I mean, it's gotten mostly negative reviews from critics, which is surprising due to the movie I just saw. I think that the critics just thought the first 15, 20 were pathetic, so that's why they're just like, yeah, let's stamp a 4, because it starts off really badly. So basically, Amy Schumer's played by Renee Barrett. She's really unhappy with her life, largely because she thinks that most people are against her. I mean, she makes a wish to be undeniably beautiful one night, as she says, from that wishing well, and then suffers a head injury. But then when she comes to see, she actually thinks her wishes come true. She now sees herself as one of the most beautiful women in the world. So she does all these really type of funny things, like she goes and dances on stage. She stands in front of her bedroom. Oh no, she stands in front of her bedroom. She stands in front of her boyfriend's bedroom, fully naked, and the street can see what she's doing. That was kind of weird, I guess, but it was also kind of funny, actually. And nothing's shown, so don't worry about that. And what do you think is, it's also good in the end because it's actually empowering. I was surprised that it started to empower people at the last 10, 15 minutes, maybe 5, 10 minutes. And she empowers women to do lots of things, which is always great to see. I mean, it's great to see these type of movies. You shut your brain off and you just, it's cute and funny and everything. I mean, a lot of the laughs in the trailer, which is actually to be expected. But there were a couple of laughs which weren't in the trailer, which I actually thought were quite decent. I mean, this movie will not go to the Academy Awards. It's not that great. It may win a Razzie, but it shouldn't, because it's actually not that bad to win a Razzie, in my opinion. But lots of films which are actually not that bad actually do win Razzies when they shouldn't. I mean, people are comparing it to Shallow Hell. I actually haven't seen it. I think it's the one with Jack Black, and also it stars Gwyneth Paltrow, I'm pretty sure. I may have seen bits of it, but I don't remember watching it, so I can't really talk about it really. I mean, it's just funny type of film. I mean, you're just with your girls one night and you want to have a night out. This is the movie for you. After you come out, you'll feel empowered. You'll feel happy. You won't feel sad. You won't cry. You won't be emotional, because that's not what the film wants to do to you. It is trying to make you laugh. It tries to do everything. And it's, not bad. But at times through the film, it does get a bit. It does just go, oh, well, when does it end? When do we get an ending to this story? Because it sort of goes on and on for a bit, but quite a few. Exactly, it's a great date night film. It's quite charming at times. And it's enough with the hate, because lots of people are hating this for no reason. I mean, it's pretty shocking that people are going, oh, it's really, really bad, when it actually isn't. And I'm surprised about that, actually. It's a feel-good movie. It's hilarious. It's empowering, as I said. It's not sad that much. Not really, according to my opinion. It's not sad for me. It's just a funny type of fun film. And it's made by E1 Entertainment, STX Entertainment, Voltage Pictures. So it's not really a well-known type of studio like 20th Century Fox or like Warner Brothers. It's not produced by any of them. So I guess you could say it's not a blockbuster type of film. It's one of those not small, low-grade movies, but in the middle, I guess you could say. And it's a funny type of movie. And I've heard that lots of cinemas across the country, people have been laughing, crying out for laughter, with laughter, because they just couldn't keep it together. And I thought it was a nice surprise. I mean, you sit there, you enjoy it, and that's how the film goes. I mean, at one chance, there were 2.2 out of 10, someone IMDb put it. And that's very bad. I mean, I don't know, it's because of those critics, and they just really didn't like it. And she has a boyfriend, basically. The story goes, she meets this guy at a laundromat, and then they start to hit it off. They both like each other and everything. It's quite nice to see. It's funny, entertaining. It's stupid at times. Yes, it is stupid. But it's still fun, stupid type of thing. It's not stupid that it goes past the line. It's just, it stays solid. It's, not a bad film at all. I mean, it's quite nice. And their first-time directors, Abby Cohn and Mark Silverstone, they do an alright job. But I don't know what happened in the start. Why was it really bad at the start? It was very surprising, actually. Still don't know what was wrong with that. And this movie has lots of popular tracks, which you'll notice, like, I can't really name them, but lots of them I've heard on the radio. I guess to finish off, I was surprised that it was actually not that bad in the end, but due to a disappointing start, I'll probably give it a 6.5 out of 10. But at least I'm not giving it a 4 out of 10 or a 2 out of 10 or a 3 out of 10, because it's actually on a 4.6 out of 10 on IMDb. And it's very surprising because it's not a bad film at all. It's done quite nicely, actually. Which just shocks me, why would you put it like that? I don't understand sometimes. So now I'll go to another movie releasing this week. You've got The Bookshop. Now, not many people have heard about it. One time I went to the movies, I think I saw Breath with Simon Baker, and then I saw this trailer and didn't really think it'd be that decent. I mean, it's going to be alright. So basically the story is set in a small town in 1959 in England. It's basically a story of a woman who decides against polite but ruthless local opposition to open a bookstore, a decision which becomes a political minefield. Now, it's directed by Isabel Covet. It's a female. And is she familiar with other stuff? She's actually a Spanish director. I think it's one of her first English films. She also wrote the screenplay and the novels by Penelope Fitzgerald, and she suddenly died on the 28th of April in 2000, and she was age 83. So her story, her book, so basically Penelope Fitzgerald's novel has been made into a movie sudden years later. Now it stars Emily Mortimer. Now I think she's going to be a big star because she's actually planned to be in Mary Poppins Returns, which is expected to be out 1st of January 2019. Stars Meryl Streep, Emily Blunt as the main, Colin Firth, Julie Walters. A number of people actually do it. I mean, they're a part of Mary Poppins, and it's one of those reboot type of films, right? I don't think we saw... Actually, it's the first Mary Poppins movie actually came out in 1964. Now, the new one is actually going to be out... It says 2018, but it's actually expected to be the 1st of January in 2019. Now, Emily Mortimer, she's been known for a couple of things recently. She was in The Party, which was not that known. It didn't even go to Village. It went to Rivoli, I think, and the Brighton area type of cinemas. You've also got The Sense of an Ending, which is also out, right? Which was already out actually, and Emily Mortimer starred in it. She's also known for The Newsroom, so she's known for a couple of things. So I wouldn't mind seeing it in theaters just to see if it's alright, really. It also stars Florence Barber. Now, she is known for Mr. Holmes. She's known for film stars Don't Die in Liverpool. And then you've also got Bill Nighy in this film. He's known for Love Actually, and he's also known for the Pirates of the Caribbean films, Page 8 and About Time. He's always a great actor, so basically, I'll be happy to see it when I see it. And it's produced by a number of people. It's produced by Chris Curling. Chris Curling produced It's a Wonderful Afterlife as executive producer. And there was another producer on board. You've got Jamila Wensek, who produced The Tale, which I don't even know about. So I think lots of people who are on board I really haven't heard about before. Because I think it's not one of those big budget type of films. This is a low budget English production. Not low budget, but English production. So I don't think there's a number of people involved which I basically know about. Not that I know of right now. It's produced by a number of people. I mean, you've got Thierry Wasey Bailey, Fernando Ria, Paz Reclones, just a couple of other people. Now, I think not many people have seen it. It actually comes out today, and it has a solid 4 to 5 sessions out in the my local cinema, so I guess it will be alright. Now I wanted to talk about some films which are coming soon, which is called I Killed Giants. Now, I'm sort of excited for this because it does have a number of quite star-packed actors. It's directed by Anders Walter, and it's written by Joe Kelly. Now, Joe Kelly, she actually wrote, I think it's a she or it could be a he. I'm not actually sure about that, so I may be wrong. But he or she actually wrote Big Hero 6. So it's one of these big type of fantasy movies. And it also stars Zoe Saldana, Imogen Poots, Noel Clarke, and Jennifer Earl. And it's basically a story of 12-year-old Barbara Thornton. She flees from reality, living in the imaginary world of fantasy and magic, where she fights with giants. Her family does not understand her, peers do not like her, and she also irritates teachers. And only recently moved here, Sophia at her same age, trying to make friends with her. So I guess you have a bit of a story there. That's out on the 31st of May. Another big movie which is out, which I'm super excited about. Now, this actually released early in the year in the US, but it's finally coming here to Australia. It's basically a dark comedy, and it's a story about a mild businessman, Harold Soinka, who's played by David Oyelowo, and he finds himself at the mercy of his backstabbing business colleagues back home. Local drug lords, a more morally conflicted black ops mercenary, crossing the line from law-abiding citizen to wanted criminal. Harold battles to survive his increasingly dangerous situation in ways that raise the question, is he out of his depth or 2 steps ahead? This is going to be fun. I'm super excited about it. Every time I go to the cinemas, I see the poster. Now, I think it's from the director Nash Edgerton. Now, this is an Australian director. I have a feeling that it could be Joel Edgerton's brother or part of his family somehow. It'll be exciting to see it, since seeing Joel Edgerton in Red Sparrow earlier this year. Now, it's written by a couple of other movies been written. So basically, Jane Got a Gun and Warrior. And Matthew Stone is also a writer. He wrote Life, which is that very, very funny Eddie Murphy movie, which starred Martin Lawrence, which came out in 1999. Will be exciting to see Gringo. Now, they don't hold back on the stars. You've got Amanda Seyfried is actually in this film. And she's also going to be in the new Mamma Mia, which is coming out in July, I believe. It will be certainly excellent to see it. And if you're a fan of Tully, don't miss Gringo, because you'll see her in a comedy instead of a drama this time. You've got Thandie Newton, Joel Edgerton. Now, we saw him in Red Sparrow earlier this year, as I said, and also Bright and Loving. Now, you've also got Sharlto Copley, David Oyelowo, quite a number of people. And it's produced by Charlize Theron. Now, she actually stars in the film, but it could be her first role producing. Actually, she's produced a number of things recently. She produced her most recent film, Tully, which is actually out now. She produced Atomic Blonde, to name a few. It's also produced by Nash Edgerton, the director. I think that I'm probably going to close the program. I've had a full type of show today, and I think I'll close it off. But next week, I'm hoping to be reviewing a couple of things, right? So let's get this down. I hope to review them for you people. Now, probably, I hope to review the new Star Wars film, Solo: A Star Wars Story. It'll be exciting to see it. I may see it this week, I may see it next week. I'm not definitely sure at the moment. I'm not certainly sure. I still haven't seen A Quiet Place. There's been a number of things out. I've certainly missed some. Life of the Party. I may be seeing that this weekend. I don't know yet. Tully, I may see it. I don't really have an interest in it. I'm more excited for Gringo, which also stars her. Peter Rabbit, I haven't seen it yet, but I'll make sure to see it. Death of Stalin, well, that's sort of gone. Chappaquiddick, I may get to see it, but I think it's sort of gone now. It only has one morning session. Unsane, I missed it, I think. Crooked House, basically, I wanted to see it, but I think it's gone now from most of the recent cinemas. Hajita, I wanted to see it, but not many sessions, which is an Indian one. And actually, tomorrow, because we know that I won't be doing a program for another week, I should mention Pamanu. Now, this is a big action type of film. It's an action history drama, and it's a story. It's a look at India's first confidential nuclear test series at Pokhran, led by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam during the time of PM Atal Bihari Vajpayee's tenure. Now, it's from the director Abhishek Sharma. Now, Abhishek Sharma directed Terror Bin Laden and Terror Bin Laden Death or Alive. Now, it's from the writers of the people who actually were involved in Nirja, which is an awesome, empowering movie about women, which came out in 2016. It's an ultimate must-see. And don't forget to see it just before Viriki Wedding releases, I think on the 1st of June or the 6th of June. It's also from the writers of Mary Comb, which I think stars Priyanka Chopra. It may have been one of her last Bollywood type of films. Now, this film has a big star cast. It's got John Abraham. If you don't know who John Abraham is, I'll give you a look, right? He's known for Doom. He's known for Rocky Handsome. He's known for the Force 1 and Force 2. He's known for The Shum, Wazir, Welcome Series, Race, to name a few. He is a big type of actor. He's been in the business for a while now. And this, you make sure to see the trailer online, because this is going to be great, people. And it also has Diana Penty, who plays the woman in the film. She's known for Lucknow Central, Happy Bug Jayagi, and Cocktail. Also stars Boman Irani. It's got a great cast. It's produced by John Abraham as well, who produced Madras Cafe, Rocky Handsome, and Force 2. Those are his 3 big films. If you haven't seen those 3 big films, you make sure to try to watch them online. Really, they are excellent. And don't forget to watch Pamanu. It releases in cinemas tomorrow. I'm out, people. Thank you, and keep going to the movies. Keep supporting filmmakers.